All right, how's everybody doing? Test my microphone. All right, I am starting this webinar just about a minute or two early. We're going to have people jumping on live in just a few moments. And so when they do, we'll get started. So if you're watching the recording, we're going to actually start the webinar in about a minute. All right, so be ready for that. Okay, so for now, I'm going to pull up all of my, because I got some slides now. And I'm going to pull those up. So, hi everybody, welcome. All right, come on in. We're going to be starting here in exactly 1 minute. I'm just pulling up my slides so we can launch this baby. All right. Okay, so everybody should be able to see me now and should be seeing my slides. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the chat window over to the right side of my screen. So if you see me looking here, I'm looking at the chat window. And what I would love for everybody to do is take a minute and introduce yourself in chat so that we can get used to this. And let's, oh, you can't hear anything. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's try this. Seems like speaker. We can hear you. Oh, okay, this is Kristen. You hear me? Okay, good. Awesome, everybody can hear me. Yay. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. Leilani says I can't hear anything, but other people say we can. Kristen Shook says she can hear. Katie, hello in Northern Idaho. I got to say hi. This is going to be cool. Melissa from La Crosse, Wisconsin. I hope or is it LaCroix? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry. Jennifer from North Carolina. Hello. Kirsten from Fresno. Kristen from Bakersfield. Charisse, hello. Lindsay from Ohio. Hello, Lindsay. Alice says, hi, Adi. Thank you for being you and offering yourself to us. Oh my gosh, is that the greatest thing ever? Like, thank you for being you. As flawed as I am, that is like the coolest compliment ever. Thank you, Alice. You're a sweetheart. Heather from Orange County. Debbie, Long Beach. Katie from Texas. What? Charisse. Didn't I say Charisse? Hi, Charisse. Kristen from North Carolina. Doug and Rochelle from Vineyard. Oh, Doug. What's up, Doug? Janice from Florida. Look at this. This is awesome. I had to leave and come back and hear you. Okay. Jane from Seattle. Natalie from Washington. Grace from... Guys, we had over 350 people register for this webinar. What I want you to think about is, why is that? Why is that? Because people want to be pushed right now. So think about your team. Think about the people that you surround yourself with. Not just them, but also maybe people you know that aren't even enrolled yet. Maybe that there's something in the air, and this is a perfectly timed webinar. Michelle says, hello, I live in Northern California, but an hour and a half from South Oregon on the coast. Hello, Tanitha Rempel in Provo, from near Vancouver. Oh, cool, right on, Canada, eh? All right, Kayla in Minnesota, Linda from California, Judy from Las Vegas, Patty from Minnesota, Kristen from Paris, California, Leanne from Mountain City, Tennessee. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for jumping on. Okay, so people are raising their hand. I'm not sure why, but it's totally cool. If you have a question, just shoot it in the chat, and I'm ready to get started. I want to make sure that we start right on time. So I love you guys. I'm grateful that you guys are all here. Let's do this. You guys ready? So Cheryl says, okay, we want to make sure I got this right. Cheryl says she's not seeing everyone's chat. Okay, so make sure that when you're in the chat, make sure that your messages go out to all panelists and attendees. Oops, got the keys in my pocket here, sorry. So make sure you're in the chat, your messages go to all panelists and attendees. You have to change that setting. So today I'm gonna run down a couple of things that we're gonna talk about, but I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Okay, make sure you're panelists, all attendees, because I'm going to ask some questions during this webinar. It's going to be very interactive. And so what I'm hoping for is some of your answers to be profound for the other people in this training. All right, I'm ready to roll. Let's do this. I've been working on these slides here for the last couple of weeks, and I got to tell you guys, this is going to be meaty. So buckle up. This is going to be awesome. You're going to love it. I love doing this stuff. It's so freaking cool. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's roll. So first off, welcome everybody to the push. To the push call. before I talk about this, before I start about me and all that, I'm going to give you some great advice. This training is going to be fully recorded. You're going to get the recording as soon as I am done in an email. Plus, I'm also going to broadcast this on my private Facebook page, or my business Facebook page. And so what I want you to know about that is that don't worry about writing down everything I say. Don't worry about writing all the details of all the things you're going to see on this screen, because this recording will be available for quite a while. I'm going to leave it up for at least a week. So make sure you watch it. If you're watching the recording, make sure you watch it in full. But what I would rather you do, instead of writing down everything I say, I want you to write down, is it safe to just pay attention and listen? Absolutely, Maria. If you're going to take notes, which I highly recommend you take notes on this, which is your thoughts. You know what I mean? Like your ideas, inspiration, something that comes to mind. Maybe even a person on your team that you've been trying to figure out how to address their issues or how to help them. And then something in this training helps you with that. Because I'm not going to just talk about how to push yourself for 90 days. I'm also going to get in depth about how to move and motivate your team to want to push with you. All right. So also I'm going to rely on the chat box. So if my audio goes out or something looks funky, let me know immediately in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling. Okay. All right. So let's do this. First off, I've had about over 350, like I said, 350 people register for this webinar. I don't know the exact count of how many you're in here, but it looks like a lot. I'm sure a lot of you probably don't even know who I am. So let me just kind of cover that real quick. I want you to know where the perspective of this training is coming from. So a little bit about me. Again, my name is Eddie Villa. I've been involved heavily with network marketing for the last 7 years, but it's not my first rodeo, all right? And I started, the first time I ever did a network marketing business was with this amazing woman who ended up becoming my wife because she's awesome. So a lot of you guys know Angela Villa. We've been married now, gosh, 16 years. And I just, I honestly feel like I'm living the dream being married to this amazing woman. So of course, I wanted to create more of this amazing woman. So we had children. In fact, we have 6 children together. And I have a beautiful daughter who's right there smack dab in that picture. She's standing next to me. Her name is Jocelyn. She was born right when I turned 18, okay? So even though I'm 43, that little girl right there is in her mid-20s, if you can believe that. Yes, I have 7 children. My wife and I have 6. Wonderful kid. Anyway, my family's beautiful, so we do a lot together. The wonderful thing about our business is that I get to be with them a lot. And that's kind of why I love doing the trainings on these so much. Because I personally want people that enjoy the same freedoms that I do. I don't believe that I'm alone on this. I think we should all be able to participate in network marketing, although it's not the only way, it's a great way to do that. So this is what we like to do together. Now, I do have a lot of children, and my wife and I have been married 16 years, but I have some personal things that I love. Mainly is like movies. I freaking love movies so much. In fact, it's my dream one day to produce my own film. Once we're a solid presidential diamond, which won't be long, I'm going to produce my own feature film. I just can't wait to do that. I'm super excited about that. And so I went to Comic-Con recently, took some awesome pictures. I also love comics so much. In fact, I think I probably spent a little too much money today on comic books already. But I love comics, and in particular, Batman is one of my favorites. I talk about him a lot. And also, I love training. I love this business so much because I had to go through a lot of crap to learn what I've learned. I had to go through a lot of crap to be able to learn some truths about things. And I've discovered that on the other side of it, there's so much that needs to be shared and taught with people. Not just how to build a business, but also how to get past your own fears. How to get past your own self-doubts and limiting beliefs. This is a picture I took, and I just want to just share 2 seconds on this. The reason why I look like this is when this is me walking as a Blue Diamond at Leadership this year. They announced as a Diamond or Blue Diamond. And the reason why I have this look on my face and the reason why I have my hands out like that is because I have seen so many spouses walk across the stage at Leadership and convention. It's always inspiring. But if you look closely, you can tell which one of the spouses were engaged in the business and which ones weren't. The ones who weren't engaged, typically, not always, but typically, they could not get off that stage fast enough. But what I wanted to do was let everybody know that I was a massive part of our growth in our business. And so when I come out, when we walk, like I just did, and I'll show you guys a video again, and what for me walking is like as a Blue Diamond in doTERRA, I wanted to come out and own it. And literally that's me right there saying, I deserve this. And I want you guys to remember that. You can do the work, and when you get the accolade, you say, thank you. I deserve that. Okay? Let me give you an example of what it feels like to walk as a Blue Diamond. At convention.
And Angela Vida.
Now I'm dancing because look at Angela's dress. Seriously, no one would look at me if I didn't dance. It's the greatest feeling ever. And we're going to do it again as a Presidential Diamond next year. That's the plan. All right. So first off, a little bit more about me. For those of you guys who have taken the Gallup Strengths Finder test, I want you to know what my strengths are, okay? And I want you to think about your strengths in this way. So first off, my number one strength is strategic, okay? My second strength is activator, all right? My third strength is futuristic. My fourth strength is woo, which means win others over. And my fifth strength is self-assurance, okay? Now, what I love about my top 5 strengths is I can tell you a story. And what I do is I strategically plan to activate me and the people around me with a futuristic goal in mind as we influence many others in my path with absolute certainty. With absolute certainty. Charisse, how I figured those out is you go to, maybe somebody could type in the link. I think it's called GallupStrengthCenter.com. GallupStrengthCenter.com. Anyway, did you guys hear that? What I just told you was a story about me using my top 5 strengths. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do that for you. How freaking awesome is that, right? So strategically focused and activating and with a future plan in mind, always with a future plan in mind, winning others over as I go, influencing those, and with absolute certainty in my self-assurance. Is that cool? So that's what I want you to think about when it comes to your strengths, okay? So what am I going to talk about tonight? I'm going to talk about what's involved in doing a 90-day push, okay? I'm going to get as detailed as I can tonight. So we're going to do this push without any incentives, okay? No incentives and no weekly, daily tasks. Like we don't tell people, hey, you're going to talk to 5 people today. That doesn't happen. Okay, we can get people to rank events and everything without having to be specific, and I'll explain why later. Everyone rank advances. That's how it works. When people come into a push with us, they come in with the expectation that we're going to rank advance. Everyone's going to grow. And I'm going to share with you a complete breakdown of what that looks like. I also going to share with you how to use Gallup Strengths for yourself and for your leaders, specifically step by step how to do that. All right, is that cool? I'm going to tell you, like, basically, I'm going to give you all the secrets that maybe you didn't get when you came to leadership or when you first heard about this, okay? You're going to love it. I'm going to give you stuff that you'll be able to start using today. I'm going to show you how awesome every strength really is. Every single strength. In fact, I'm going to go over a few today in particular. I'm going to show you how to ask questions to help other people. Let me move this up. All right. So I'm also going to show you how to ask questions to get people moving. Oops. Okay. Also, I'm going to work with one of you guys here live on this call. Okay. The person that's on this call, you, that's ready right now to find out how to use your strengths. All right. Is that cool? Is that something you want to, like, I'm at the end of this call, at the very end, I'm going to take some time with you. We're going to go over your top 5. And I'm going to show you how I work with somebody so you can see specifically how I do it and give you tons of ideas on how to work with your people when it comes to strengths, okay? And you're going to love it. It's totally duplicatable. You can start using it immediately. And then I'm going to show you, for those of you guys who are here for this as well, I'm going to show you how how to be part of a small group of 5 people that will work with me personally over the next 90 days, starting in October. And I'll explain why I'm doing that in a few minutes. But this is basically what's been going on here is I've been doing videos and training on doTERRA for a long time in network marketing. And there are a lot of people in this business that just don't either get along with their upline or don't have an upline. And so basically what I'm offering is to be your upline for 90 days, every week, right? All of that stuff. So I'm going to show you at the right before I work. So how it's going to go is in this order. I'm going to work with, I'm going to show you guys how to get part of that group. And then I'm going to work with one of you guys one-on-one so you can kind of get an idea how I work. Okay, cool. So let's move on. Now, first off, what's a 90-day push? All right, 90 days, that's 3 months. And if you've ever read the book, oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on the book right now. Oh, the 12-week year, 12 weeks, right? 90-day push, they kind of go along. So I highly recommend the 12-week year. It's a great book. So what it is basically it's 3 months, 3 straight months of money-making activity. It's not supposed to be easy, but it will boost and jumpstart your business in a level that like will only keep you going forward. And I want you to think about this too. It's like when people first start the business, there's always like, well, I'll go this far, and if it doesn't work, I'll quit. Well, what I want to do is in a 90-day push, take you past that point of no return. So you're making money, and it's harder to quit than it is to stick. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to stick with doing the business. That's one of the wonderful things about a 90-day push, is it pushes you past that point of no return. Okay? So we're also in the 90-day push, there's weekly challenges. So we take 90 days and we break them up into weekly challenges, which I'll explain in a little bit what that looks like. And what we do is I love to take those weekly challenges and break them up into 48-hour sprints, little 2-day sprints. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes, why I like to break them up and exactly how I break them up, okay? And this is how I would do it going forward. And then we map it out in detailed goal setting. We map out what the whole 90 days is going to look like in detailed goal setting. That means 90 days broken down into 60 days and 30-day increments, okay? We encourage people in these groups, and we hold people accountable. And I say small group because you don't want to have too many people in a small, like in a 90-day push. You really want to make it intimate, so no more than 10. Try to keep it under 10 for time reasons too. And then we always start with why. So we have specific instructions and discussions about why are you doing this? Just like you are here right now on this call, I would look you in the eye and I'd say, why are you here? What is it that you want? And I want you to go ahead and practice this right now. So in the chat, or if you're watching the recording in the comments, tell me why you are watching this training. Why are you sacrificing time to be here and be a part of this and to learn this? Go ahead and put it. And what I want you to do is I want you to be honest, specific, and personal. Don't tell me, right? Don't tell me you want to save starving kids in Africa, because that's awesome and that's wonderful, but I want to know what you really want right now, right? So that's awesome. So put that in, go ahead and put that in the chat. And I want everybody else to watch and look at those comments. And I want you to look at some of those and go, oh my gosh, that's actually me too. I'm like that. I'm feeling like that. And the reason why I'm having you do this is I want you to realize how not alone you are. See, the entrepreneur life can be often very lonely. And that loneliness can contribute to people quitting. So when we do this together, people stick, right? That's why we do groups. It's huge. Groups, amazing. All right, so first off, how do we put this bad boy together? First, you have to do this right now, what you're doing. What do you want? Why are you here? Now, when I'm looking at a person in the eye and I say, tell me what you want, and they say, well, I want time freedom, I will always say, that's awesome. Time freedom is great, but what does that mean for you? Right? Michelle says, pay off all our debt. That is a want, right? That's a why. Because see, I could always ask Michelle, I was like, Michelle, was it like having all this debt, right? And I can ask her questions like, just really powerful questions that help her get to understand the importance of the urgency of her situation. right? And when a person is urgent, they move, even if they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand how important this question is? So what I'm going to urge you to do is get really good at asking people, what do you want? And when they give you the wishy-washy answers like, well, I'd like some time freedom. Well, I'd like some financial freedom. Well, I'd like to believe in myself. That's wonderful. But what does that mean? Look at these comments. They're flying in right now. I'm going to take a look at one of them real quick. I want to be financially free and able to give generously. Brilliant. See, that's a good example of me saying, that's wonderful. That's great. But what does that mean? Right? How much money do you need to make a month in order to be financially free? Right, Jan? Think about that. Give me a number. I posted a post. I put a post on Facebook saying, if it comes down between my kids playing with my kids all day or cleaning my house, I will play with my kids all day and pay someone to clean my house. And someone I know said, oh, I want to do that. But my question is, do you actually know how much it's going to cost to have an assistant come and clean your house a couple days a week? And if you do, what is your plan to make that happen? Instead of just going, well, I'd like to be diamond someday, right? Charisse is like 10K, boom, one word. That's what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to get really good at asking people what do they want, and when they give you the surface answer, I want you to know it's not the right answer. You got to dig a little deeper and say, oh, that's awesome. I love that. What does that mean to you? Right? So write that question down. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. What does that mean to you, though? I want time freedom. Awesome. That's wonderful. That sounds great. But what does that mean to you? How much time freedom? And so on. You get it? Okay. So what I want you to do right now is, the first thing is you got to do is, all right, if you're going to put together a 90-day push, what do you want? Like for me, when I decided to do a 90-day push, I said, this is what I want. I want to be with a group of people, okay, that are all about helping people get these oils and making money at the same time, both, right? That's what I want. And I want our calls to be where we can, no nonsense, right? We can be open and honest and brutally honest if we have to. And we can be vulnerable, and we can be, on these calls, and everyone, 100% of everybody that says they're going to be in the push starts it and finishes it. That's what I want too, right? Everybody shows up 5 minutes before the call. You guys see what I'm saying? I want you to think about that right now. What do you want in your 90-day push? I want everybody to show up before the call, 5 minutes. So then I tell them that, right? What else do I want? I want everybody to show up to the call with something, with something, which I'll show you guys how they show up, what they bring to the call, what the expectations are. You see what I'm saying? So I'm getting very specific about what I want in my group. Okay? Cool? That's the first thing. Second, who do you want to work with? One of the things a lot of us who've been doing it a while, sometimes we're in positions where we have people in crucial, critical positions in our business that hold us hostage. They're not committed like we are. And so because of that, these people, although they're wonderful people and I love them to death, but sometimes they make me not like this business, right? So what I said was, I want people in my group that I love working with, that make me happy, that inspire me to push myself. I want people in this group who are, number one, committed, show up 5 minutes early, right? 2, they want to grow their business and they're willing to do the work to get there, right? I want people to work with me that inspire me, not drag me down. Or not people that I feel like I have to, use up all my energy to push instead of, because if I work with people that push themselves, then I can use that energy to go and recruit. Yeah, isn't that cool? And so I write down those. I want you to write them down. What do you want? Who are the people you want to work with? Put it down. Give me 3. Put it in the comments. What are 3 people, the types of people you want to work with? Committed, show up early, always bring value, right? Something like that. So the more clear you are about who these people are, you'll know exactly who they are in your business. And I'm going to be honest with you, I never cared where they were. Obviously we wanted to make sure they were in our top 5 levels, at least, of our qualifier, of our qualifying legs, top 5 levels of our qualifying legs. So I wanted people, that was the really only criteria. If they were people that inspired me, then We rolled together, right? Look at this. You guys are awesome. Upbeat, goal-oriented, want to help others, willing to do what it takes. And so then you tell people, hey, I'm going to start a group, and these are the people I'm looking for. Self-starters, you know, committed, willing to do what it takes. Are you that person? And they can say, you know what, honestly, I'm not. And that's so cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm so glad I asked. And then they put you in the group. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Let's move on. Next, what is the standard? What's the standard of your group? Think about that right now. What's the standard? Is the standard that they show up whenever they feel like it? Or is the standard they show up 5 minutes early and they're ready the moment the call begins and we go, right? Is the standard that they enroll at least 1 or 2 people a week to stay in the group? What's the standard? You set the standard. You decide. Who do you want to work with? What do you want? Who do you want to work with? And what is the standard for the full 90 days? Not just for the first 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks, or until they're bored or tired or not motivated anymore. Bull crap, right? What is the standard? And when you communicate the standard to them and to yourself, then there's no, there's no guesswork needed. Excuse me. They're either doing the work or they're not, right? And if you're thinking to yourself, well, what if they don't uplift? What if they don't uphold the standard? Then you're already hurting yourself. You cannot think this way. Is there a good rule of thumb for standards? Yes, this is what I would do. This is my standard for our 90-day push. Everybody shows up 5 minutes early before the call so that when the call begins, we get going and we start the call, right? When I post what I'll do is I'll do a video at the beginning on Monday, right? A video that everybody will watch, just kind of like a video to kind of get everybody focused on the same things, whether it's recruiting or enrolling or LRP or whatever. And they are all required to comment on the video what they took away from it, right? That's the standard. They have to watch that video within that first 12 hours of the video being posted. You know what I mean? These are the standards that we lay it out. And, also we say that when they show up to the calls, they show up to calls with something they did. And I'll explain what those are in a few minutes. But they show up to the call with the required content that they need to share for what they did in the week, right? And also no drama, right? No negativity, no drama, no complaining, no victim mentality ever on our calls, right? So that's a standard. Okay, so I communicate these to them. I tell them individually, one-on-one. I don't post that in Facebook, and I don't send it in an email, and I don't do it in a voicemail. I call them, I talk to them one-on-one, face-to-face, or whatever. And I said, these are their requirements. You ready to roll? But we've been doing these 90-day pushes now for a couple of years, and everybody already knows the standard. We don't have to repeat it, and so on. Okay, so next. So what is Ubuntu? I don't know if you guys have ever heard the phrase Ubuntu. It's I believe it's South African, although it might be African altogether, but I believe it's South African. And I watched this really awesome documentary, and I watched a lot of documentaries, and one was on the Boston Celtics. They won a championship one year, and they brought a guy in to explain to everybody what Ubuntu is. And Ubuntu means I am, okay, by the way, this is paraphrasing. It can mean a lot of things, but generally Ubuntu means I am because we are. So when I go into a 90-day push, I go with that mindset. I am because we are. Or I like this one a little better. This one kind of pushes me to be a better service and be relentless, is I can't be unless we are. What if this was your team motto? And you told everybody this word, constantly repeated it, Ubuntu, Ubuntu, constantly. Are you living Ubuntu? Are you living Ubuntu? Look at this, Heather's already jumping up. which literally means that a person is a person through other people. Ubuntu has its roots in humanist African philosophy, where the idea of community is one of the building blocks of society. It's beautiful. Thank you, Heather. Guys, you understand, like, this is not just some job. This is some business. This isn't a side hustle. This is how we roll in life, right? That's why I love network marketing so much, because growing my network marketing business equally grows my life. And so I work my butt off to live up to what I believe Ubuntu really is. So when someone's not showing up, I call them and I say, what's up? I'm here for you, right? So I want you to write down some thoughts about that. You know, what are some thoughts? What does Ubuntu mean to you, man? If you really committed to Ubuntu and somebody didn't show up to a call, would you just let them go? Or would you get on the phone and say, look, you don't understand. I can't be unless you are. So how can we fix this? How can we move forward? How can we get past whatever you're working on? I'm here with you. Let's do this. That's why it's never a victim mentality. Awesome. Cool stuff. How you guys digging this so far? You guys liking this so far? I'm going to get more specific in just a minute. I'm going to give you some step-by-steps. But I really want you to understand the philosophy first, okay? The philosophy is what guides everything. So when I tell you the step-by-steps, you are understanding why the step-by-steps. It's far more important than just telling you what to do. Telling you what to do means nothing, all right? So if you ever come up to like a leader or something and say, hey, tell me what to do, stop. Don't ask that question. Say, tell me what to do, but help me understand why you do it that way. Okay? All right, let's move. So the next thing I want you to do is you have to be the example of commitment. Okay, commitment means three things. Number one, doing what you said you were going to do. No, actually that's number two, sorry. Number one is doing what's required to get what you want, right? So if you want to rank advance, praying is wonderful, but it's not required, okay? You can rank advance with, you can't rank advance by just praying, all right? So you gotta do what's required, which is talk to people, enroll people, get them on LRP, and get people doing the business with you, okay? That's required. So number one, commitment means doing what's required. Checking your back office is not required. Number two, doing what you said you were going to do. I said I was gonna talk to X amount of people. Cool, do it, that's commitment. And number three, commitment also means doing what you said you were gonna do despite how you think, feel, right? Or your emotions or your moods. Despite all that, you still do it anyway, all right? I don't care how tired or busy or full or sick or whatever, you just get the work done, okay? Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to kill yourself. Don't go that extreme. I'm just saying, you do what's required, you do it what you said, and you do it despite how you think, you feel, your emotions, or your mood, okay? So be the example. So these are just pictures of Angela and I running classes and stuff. And by the way, that picture right now I'm showing you, this was taken on my birthday. This training right here was on my birthday, and I'm super proud of that because that's what shows you how much I love this business and how committed I am, right? I did a training at our house on my birthday. Right after this training was over, my kids gave me my presents and we went out together. We do it on Christmas time. Well, this wasn't Christmas Day, don't get me wrong, not that. But we do it on Christmas time, okay? Christmas time is a good time to build, FYI. So is June, July, and August also. This is Angela holding a baby, strapped to her, teaching a class at a winery. This is us doing a big training over at, I think this was our first monthly training that we were doing in Pechanga in Temecula, California. And I believe this was on, I can't remember the name of the program, but we were training on a new program. So it's pretty cool. And this is Angela and I at the front of the group. In fact, that picture right there, that was the picture the same day was taken as my logo picture, which is small little trivia. Okay, so cool, right? Be the example at all times. Do the work. Never ask anybody to do something you wouldn't do, all right? So do the work, do the work, do the work, so that when you tell them to do the work, you can always say, look, I'm doing the work, and so on, right? So you have to be the example. Can't kick back. You got to work as hard, sometimes harder than your team. The next thing is you got to have a plan. So let's get some step-by-steps here. This is what I would do right now if my team was going to go through a 90-day push again today. What I would do, and this is slightly different than what I used to do in the past, so this is me getting a little bit better at it. So on Monday, I would release a focus call or a video, or I would do like a recording or a video, and I post it up in a Facebook group. We would add everybody to a private Facebook group, and then I would record it, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just saying, hey, this is what we're going to focus on. Here's a couple of tips, and I want you to go rock it. And I want you to I want you to kind of come up with a goal and how you're going to make this happen, right? So I would release that on a Monday, and then within the next 2 days, there would be a 48-hour sprint. That means they take every single second they have available in those 2 days. Every minute they have available. They go all out. They put their life in total imbalance for just 48 hours. All right? And they make calls and they get on, they sample or whatever. They just call everybody, as many people as they can. They message as many people as they can, and so on for 48 straight hours, okay? Hardcore for 2 days, all right? They have to go all in. No excuses. I get that your kids have this and that and you have all these things going on and you maybe have only an hour or whatever. I don't care. You go all in as much as you can for 48 straight hours, and they have to be 2 days in a row. It can't be like one day here and one day over here in a row, all right? And then what they do is they're setting up one-on-ones, classes, webinars, whatever they can. So they've got their classes scheduled, their one-on-ones or webinars put up or whatever, and then for 48 hours, they bust it out and they push as hard as they can to get as many people as they can to come to these things. Now, I want to be very clear about this. The 48 hours isn't the only time they're working their business. They're going to work their business every single day, but they're going hard for 48 hours, and the rest of the days is kind of like just working the momentum that was created on those 48 hours. And the worst and the hard part about this is that they don't do the hard work for 48 hours, calling everybody they know in the time that they have, then they're going to have to work harder throughout the week. So the reason why I say 48-hour push all in is to do this every week so that it maximizes energy and results. It also creates constant momentum, which is what sales is built on. And the best part is it reduces burnout. Yeah, I can go hard for 2 days, right? And then slow down on the other days where all I'm doing is following up with people, right? It's a totally different energy. It's a totally different shift. You can follow up with people easily without having to grind out a bunch of calls. What do you guys think? Is that cool? Does that make sense? I'll talk about what you do on your group calls. I haven't gotten there yet, but how does this sound to you? Does this sound like doable? Does this sound like even a brand new person could push hard for 48 hours, calling everybody they know and inviting them to one-on-ones, classes, and webinars? Yeah, it's manageable. That's what I want to do. I want to be realistic. I'll be honest. When we do our 90-day pushes, I don't go all out for 90 straight days. That's insane. What I do is I'm strategic. I burst, and then I momentum. Burst, momentum, burst, momentum, burst, momentum, right? Just push, little pushes, short pushes, boom, 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 boom. Okay? Sprints, pushes, bursts, whatever you want to call it. My team is terrified of the word push. So, I like throwing in some extra words. All right, let's move on. So this is what the weekly call looks like, okay? Remember, everybody shows up 5 minutes early, right? And it's a 1-hour call. And we keep the group to less than 10 people because that's about all you can fit on a 1-hour call. Okay. And everyone shares. No one is silent. Everybody shares. Nobody gets to just be on the call and watch and then get off. Nope. Everyone shares. I don't care how shy or nervous they are. If they're in a push, they're in a push. So they do this. And what they do in every single call is they share one thing that worked, only one. Because a lot of people, when they feel like they don't have any results, they like to tell long stories. Nope. Get to the point. There's 10 people listening. Let's just get to the point. Give me one thing you did that worked. Right? Lisa says, I'm brand new and this helps me. Awesome. Yay. Because this training is really for new people or people who've been around since forever. It's totally cool. So they share one thing that worked. That's it. And then the next thing is they share a thing that didn't work. Hey, I tried this and I thought this was going to happen, but this happened instead. And then what they share is what they learned from what didn't work. Okay, and I'll explain why that is the most important part of the entire call. I'm gonna explain that why in a minute, but I'm just gonna give you a little secret. When somebody shares what they learned from what didn't work, everybody in the group benefits. Boom, everyone. So it is huge and critical that they share what they learned from what didn't work, okay? Everybody had something that they tried that didn't work. This is not a failure. This is a powerful lesson that needs to be shared. And remember this rule, okay? Every time something goes wrong, the lesson you learned is not meant to be kept to yourself. It's supposed to be shared, okay? Awesome. So the next thing we want to do is we want to focus only on strengths. I only want people to work on the things that they're good at. Because the cool thing about 90-day pushes is that you get to be you, but I'm going to push you at a higher level. Be you, the things you are naturally good at that you've already developed skills, and push it to another level, right? So somebody had mentioned empathy earlier as a strength. Well, if empathy is your strength, I'm going to show you how to use that strength at a super high level so that you get maximum results quickly without really much effort because you're naturally good at it. You've developed that strength already. It's a good thing for you. So I'm going to give you some first off, I was going to show you a short video on what the strengths are, but if I feel like it's taking too long, I'm going to jump through it. I just want you to see what strengths are for those of you guys who have not participated in the Gallup Strengths Finder thing yet. I want you to understand what's awesome about this concept.
Do you ever wonder why you make the choices you do? Why some things come naturally while others don't? Why you are drawn to certain activities and not to others? There's a simple but powerful reason: your talents. When you understand your unique talents, you have the power to harness them, and your whole world can change. We see talent in people around us every day. The patterns of thought, feeling, or behavior that give them a unique edge. Sometimes it may even seem effortless. In fact, our talents are the keys to our innate potential. When we tap into them, we act with more confidence, inspiration, and direction. But we often take our most powerful talents for granted, or we may not even be aware of them. That's why the Clifton Strengths Finder was developed, to help you discover your areas of greatest potential. Grounded in more than 5 decades of study, the Clifton Strengths Finder is an invaluable tool designed to help you identify and activate your talents and strengths for greater happiness and success. After completing the assessment, you'll receive a personalized report describing your signature themes of talent and an action plan designed to help you unlock your innate potential. Performing at your best is easier than you may think. When you approach your work, relationships, and community from your personal areas of strength, success follows. So what are you waiting for? Transform your world today with the Clifton Strengths Finder. Unlock your potential.
Awesome. Okay, so just to let you guys know, in November of this year, I'm flying out to Irvine, California for 2 days, and I'm going to become a certified Strengths Finder coach because this is my calling. This is part of my calling. This is part of being able to add this to my repertoire. I'm super excited about this. So let's move on. So you guys understand, right? I'm talking about being you at a higher level. That means you can stop thinking you need to be something else, right? We're going to move. Let's do this. So how do I use the strengths? First, I want to use this as a reference for those of you guys that are maybe Piston fans, Laker fans, Utah Jazz fans, Seattle Supersonics fans. Sorry, but I might be breaking your heart tonight, just a little bit, okay? Just rubbing it a little bit. I'm going to use the 1995 to 96 Chicago Bulls as an example of how we use strengths, okay? So the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls broke a record at the time, so the Warriors broke it since, but the Bulls broke a record that had been long-standing of winning 72 games in a single season. And they did that because Phil Jackson, their head coach, is a genius at maximizing the strengths of his team, of his players. Genius, okay? And when I understood his philosophy behind this, it made me excited because it meant everybody's important. But the 5 is what I want to focus on. So your top 5 strengths, I want you to think about, they're very similar to the starting 5 of a basketball team. For those of you who don't know basketball, I'm sorry, I promise you'll still get this reference. So let me just give you an example real quick. Number 5, Luke Longley was their center, okay? Number 4, Tony Kukoc was a small forward. Number 3, Dennis Rodman was their power forward. And then number 2 and number 1 were Scottie Pippen, right? And Michael Jordan, okay? So these two guys here ultimately were the top two. Now, when I say starters, Bulls change starters all the time. So these weren't always the starters. Sometimes they brought in guys like Steve Kerr and so on. But what I want you to understand here is that these two guys here are the key. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Michael Jordan, number one, Scottie Pippen, number two. So I want you to think about your strengths in your top five, and we're going to just focus on the top two. And I want you to understand why. See, the Bulls won championships with Michael, but Michael will always say, I never won anything without Scottie Pippen right there with me. So understand that your top two strengths must always be played. Always. They don't sit. You don't put Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan on the bench unless you want to lose games. Understand? They go together. But most importantly, you never, ever, ever go a game without the greatest of all time. And that is your number one strength. You see, a lot of times people see their strengths and they don't see the value in them, and so they don't play them, and you're making a mistake. You are literally trying to win a championship with Michael Jordan on the bench. You don't do that. So today, we're going to talk about how to use your strengths, your number one strength, to make it your best, to take it to another level, okay? So what you have to do is you have to know your top five strengths. Like if I came up to you and says, what's your top five? You rattle them off like this. You know them that well. You deeply understand the value of your top two. Like know everything you can about those two strengths, what they mean to you and so on. You always play them. And then you know your bottom five. So you got to make sure you unlock all 34 strengths so that you can find out what your bottom five are, so that you never make the mistake to bring them in the game for too long. It's okay to bring them in once in a while, but never for too long. You let go of your need to use them completely. You also need to know your qualifiers' top five, the people you're working with. Know their top five. And rely on them so that you can let go of your bottom five, because more often than not, you're going to get a lot of people who have completely different top five, especially top two, than you. And so that's the wonderful thing about this business. We don't do it alone. So let's talk about some of the strengths that a lot of people typically have or afraid of or don't like about themselves. So if your number one strengths are any of these, I'm going to share with you how to go all in with them. And then, of course, if you like, we can work together later at the end of the call. So with empathy, your job is to simply get in front of as many people as you can and just ask questions about their situation, right? So when you say, hey, how's it going? How's life? And they'll always tell you about some kind of problem they have with their time or their money or their health. And the wonderful thing is that you, with doTERRA, you have solutions for all three. So all you got to do is when they say, well, I'm struggling with this thing. Oh, okay. And then ask great questions like, what's that like? And then ask them, what has it kept you from being able to do? And ask another great question like, do you need a change? I love that you guys are putting top five on here. Keep doing it. These are awesome. I love it. So if empathy is your number one, this is something you should be doing every single day you have a conversation with somebody. Okay, let's talk about another one. Harmony. If harmony is your number one or in your top two, what you want to do is always constantly check in when you're talking to people. See, with harmony is that they fear conflict and they seek consensus, right? So keep checking in for small yeses at all times. So you say, hey, this sound like you're something you like? And they say, yes, cool. I got another, okay. Here's about lavender. Can you see how lavender will help you? Lavender will help you. And they say, yes. So you're constantly checking in, getting consensus all throughout presentations or conversations, right? Does that sound interesting? Does that sound cool? Like something you can do? Just keep checking. Say, hey, is this working for you? Yes. Okay. Hey, do you see how this would help you? Yes. Okay, cool. Are you liking this so far? Yes. So you, as a harmony, and you're in harmony as in your strength, you can always feel confident that the two of you are on the same page. And you get good at asking questions like, just curious, and would you be open? Just curious is like wonderful. Like, hey, just curious, would you like to know, or would you be open to learning how to get them, right? Just curious, would you be open to learn how to make an extra income? Just curious, would you be open to learning how about pay your rent, right, with these oils, or how to pay your car bill with these oils, or to get these oils for free, Just curious, would you be open, right? Write those down if harmony is in your top 2. Also asking people, what do they want? What does it matter? And what happens if they don't do what they need to do to get what they want? Get good at those questions. Next one, adaptability. People with adaptability strength, I want you to learn how to take all the new ideas that come across your way and put them to work for you quickly or move on. So the thing with adaptability is they like new ideas and ways of doing things, but often we spend too much time, and I'll explain why in a few seconds, we spend too much time with things that just aren't going to work. So put them to work quickly and find out if they're going to work for you or not. Relator is a brutal strength. I love you guys. You guys have this crazy standard for who should be in your inner circle. So what I want you to do is relators. If relator is in your top 2, start getting clear about what a person needs to do to be in your inner circle. You ever watch the movie Meet the Parents, right? Jack Burns. He's always talking about the Burns family circle. And if you're in, you're going to get all the benefits. But if you screw up, then you're out, and you're out for good, baby. There's no coming back, and you start doing this, right? I'm watching you. That's you as a relator, right? So if the relator's in your top 2, you're probably laughing right now. You're, oh my gosh, that's totally me. So it's totally cool to have your inner circle of people that you only work with and trust. That's totally fine. But you need to clearly communicate to people what are the requirements to be in that inner circle. Because that inner circle needs to expand if you want to rank advance, okay? Next, deliberative. If deliberative is in your top 2, it's a wonderful strength, okay? But it can often be confused as bad, and I'll tell you why. All you got to do as a deliberative is create a system for working out your fears of things going wrong. See, deliberatives are really good at like smoking or finding out where things could go wrong and a problem that could happen. You're really good at it. You can do it better than anybody. So all you got to do is use that. It's great. I'm glad that you could see how it could go wrong. So work out a system to understand where it could go wrong and what you could do about it to make sure it doesn't go wrong so that you can get to work faster. Okay, so if deliberative is in your top 5 or top 2, that's definitely what you want to be doing. Have a system so you can work out issues or fears faster so that your deliberative gets served without holding you back. And let me explain what happens. When you don't develop your skills, the weaknesses of your strengths become obvious. I want you to remember that right now. When you don't develop your skills, your weaknesses that are tied to your strengths become obvious. For example, empathy. What happens is if you don't develop your skills, you will always struggle with allowing others to close you on why they shouldn't start. People will always say, no, I'm not ready right now. I need to think about it. And because you haven't developed your skills, you give in. If harmony is in your top 2 and you haven't been developing your skills, you tend to make it easier for others to maintain their own status quo and not advance in their business or their health or their life. Because you don't want to create conflict, right? I don't want to tell them to get started if they're already like thinking this is not a good idea. So you need to skill up. You need to develop your skills and influence people and communicating styles so that your harmony doesn't hold you back. Adaptability. If you don't develop your skills, you're going to be too easy to be misled down the wrong path, pushed in the wrong direction, as well as waste too much time working on a system that will not work for you. So develop your skills if your adaptability or this will happen. Christelle, thank you. I'm glad you like this. Everyone's giving me such great, you guys liking this so far? Is this cool? You guys digging this? I'm like, yes, sir, I do. You're describing me. Okay, cool. Okay, I got you, Kitty. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, let's talk about more. Relators. When you don't develop your skills, you create too much of a clique culture, man. And you create a lack of trust in all the new possible leaders that can come into your life and grow your business. So if you don't develop your strengths, man, you're like, you start creating the cool kids crowd. You know what I mean? You start thinking like, you know, honestly, you're like mean girls. You know what I mean? Develop your skills so that you're not, you know, this person to other people. And deliberative, develop your skills or you will take too long making a decision and opportunities will always pass you by. You know, success loves speed. It really does. It's true. And if you're not a skilled in deliberative, then success will literally pass you up because it's going to move on to somebody who's moving quicker. Okay? You're extremely valuable, deliberative. We need you to keep us out of trouble. But you need to be more efficient and develop your skills at it so that we don't delay too long. Feeling me? Cool. Kayla says spot on. Awesome. This is spot on. Jennifer says this is spot on. See what I'm saying? I love this stuff. I love this stuff, guys. And I could do this with all the strengths, but I wanted to cover a few that a lot of people get stuck with. All right, let's move on. So how do we help our leaders understand this stuff without having to know everything that I know? All right, that's what I want. I want you to learn how to figure these things out for people without having to know everything I know, starting today. Is that cool? So this part right here, fully duplicatable. All I want you to do is, number one, start with your top 5, and then you work with your way up. Start with number 5, and you work your way up, okay? So you look at your 5th strength, and you do this. You read the description. You do this for yourself or when you're working with a person one-on-one. This works best when it's with another person face-to-face, like on Zoom or something, okay? Face-to-face is always better. So have them read the description of the strength, and it's found on the StrengthsFinder website. Ask them then, after they're done reading it, ask them, what does it mean to them? Okay, well, I definitely want you to write this stuff down. What does it mean to them? I also want you to ask them, how can using that strength alone help them hit every goal? So what we're going to do is put a magnifying glass, and we're going to look for all the good in that strength. And what happens when we do that? That strength becomes more awesome. If all we're focusing on is how the strength can help them, don't let them go on how it hurts them. Tell them, no, 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 no. I didn't say how it's going to hurt you. I said, how is it going to help you? Very cool thing to do. And then you ask them, what are 2 money-making activities that you can do using this strength only? And be specific. Say, if I was looking at you, if I was watching you work your business, how would I know that you were using that strength? What would I see you doing? Okay? Tell them the truth about the next 48 hours. And what that means is that when you learn something new like you guys are doing today, you literally have only 48 hours to put something into play. And if you don't act in 48 hours, all the time we've spent together is lost. And we'll have to go back and do this again. So for those of you guys that are watching this right now, I'm sorry, but you've got 48 hours to put something you've learned tonight into effect, or else all of this time is lost. So I let them know. You've got 48 hours to do at least one of those money-making activities. Start on them right now. And then the last one, remember, this is a conversation that helps them discover what to do. It's not about telling them what to do. Help them figure it out and guide them, okay? It's important. The truths that they discover are going to be far more important and valuable to them than the ones that you share. So, how would you like to have all these questions all laid out for you in a simple form? So here's what you got to do. All of these questions I have, plus a couple more, including how to use your bottom 5 strengths as well. If you go to this link, so write this link down. You don't have to go there just a second, but soon, obviously. You go to this link, m.me/grow-with-Eddie, and it's my Facebook Messenger. All you got to do is message me with the word strengths. And you will get a link where it'll automatically, you just click on it, it's an automatic responder, and it'll give you a form that you can fill out where you can answer all these questions for yourself, and then it'll automatically email you your answers, your notes. Okay, is that cool? Is that awesome? Do you guys dig that? Because my goal is not just to help you tonight, it's to help you forever. This is what happens when you come into my circle, right? So write this link down. I'm going to change the screen in just a second. So write it down. If you forget it, don't worry. We've got the recording. So m.me/grow-with-Eddie. Strengths is the word. Message me with that word, and then you'll automatically get a response. If you don't get an automatic response, just message me again, and I'll make sure that you get it. All right, let's move on. Let's go. We got more. Who do people follow? I want you to know, what are the kinds of people that people follow? All right, I want you to know what kind of person you need to be that influences other people. They polled thousands of people and they use the same 4 words. A lot of people use the same 4 words, and that's huge, knowing how many words there are in the English language. The first one they use, sorry, hold on a second, some of the question. Diane says, so I have to do and get my Gallup strengths before I can do this 90-day push? No, Diane, you don't. No, that's not, wait, I lied. Actually, you don't have to, but it'll help dramatically. Okay, Diane, I hope that answers your question. So it will help dramatically if you know your strengths before you start a push. Okay, cool. So this is what people look for when they follow somebody. Number one was trust. Okay, there's 4 of them. Number 2, compassion. Gina, do we go over all 5 of our strengths at once or week by week? We would week by week. Week by week. So number 1 is trust. Number 2 is compassion. Number 3 is stability. And number 4 is hope. Okay. So these are the 4 things that you have to figure out how to exemplify as much as possible. Be someone they trust. Be compassionate. Show stability. And help create hope. And how you do that is 2 things. Full transparency. Vulnerability. That's why when I talk about what I did that worked, that's transparency. When I talk about what I did that didn't work, that's transparency. And I'm letting you know that I'm pissed about it, but here's what I learned and what I'm going to do going forward. That's vulnerability. These 2 traits right here grow businesses and teams faster than any other trait. So I want you to learn how to get more transparent and how to be more vulnerable in front of your people, okay? Especially your friends and family and things like that. Get good at it. It's made me thousands of dollars and it's made me happier. And when I get more transparent and vulnerable on here and someone says, thank you for being you, like somebody did at the beginning of this call, that's what I'm thinking, like, thank you for letting me be me, flawed and all, right? Okay, so let's summarize here and let's get to helping everybody here. So this is what we learned, what it takes to run your 90-day push, how you don't need incentives or daily tasks when you run with skilled people, right? The incentive is you're going to rank advance. That's all the incentive you need. When the standard is raised, so are the results. So clearly communicate the standard. It's a 90-day push, not an 89, 79, 60, or 50-day push. It's a 90-day push. We go till we're done. All right? Being alone is a failing strategy. Building alone, failing strategy. Remember Ubuntu. Always play your top 2 strengths and shuffle your next 3. They don't always need to be in the game, so shuffle them. Bring them in once in a while, but those top 2 should always be played. Asking questions helps your leaders find their strength, right? Not you telling them things, asking them things, okay? Your assurance of them gives them permission to push themselves with you holding them accountable. All right. Remember, trust, compassion, stability, and hope is what they will follow. Transparency and vulnerability gets you there fastest. Is that awesome? Isn't that what you want in a leader? Someone who's transparent and vulnerable? So be that person. All right. So a lot of you guys have already posted your top 5 strengths. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to take a look at them. Go ahead and, if you haven't posted your top 5 strengths, if you know them, go ahead and put them up there now. And I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to ask as many questions as you can in the chat. If anything I maybe hadn't covered, I'm pretty thorough, but I'm willing to answer at least 1 or 2 questions for a minute. And then I'm going to share how to be a part of the group first. I'm gonna do that in a second if you wanna work with me. And then after I share how to get part of the group, I'm going to pick one of you guys to work with me personally one-on-one right here tonight. So you can see how I work these questions that I mentioned earlier. All right, so let's put those up there. Question, do you suggest the daily text accountability groups? No, I do not. Text messages, I do not suggest daily text messages at all. Remember, I'm working with people who don't need daily, every single day a text message. How do I best use futuristic and ideation? Debbie, maybe you and I can work together. I can't go into those ones right now. It's a longer conversation. I want to make sure that I'm honoring everybody's time and get to the point. But that's a loaded question, Debbie. I love you. Kayla says, relator, developer. Okay, cool. Any other questions? I have not taken the Gallup exam, but I know what I do in Compass. Okay, that's cool. Do you need to go to Gallup Strength Center first? No, you don't need to do that first. You can do that later. It's totally fine. But I'm hoping you're getting the value of it. How do you get over being on camera? Okay, so it's similar to how you learn how to swim. One step at a time, right? You just jump in. Kristen, you just jump in. You let go of whatever story you got that's keeping you from not getting on a camera because you know it's not true, right? Like, I'm afraid to get on the camera. I'm afraid someone will make fun of me. I'm afraid to get on the camera because I don't look good. I'm afraid to get on the camera because my lighting is good and my camera's not good or whatever, right? That story is not true. We can talk about it, Kristen, if you want. We can work on that one. Let's see. Where do you find the videos you use in the challenge? Good question. I create the videos myself. As a matter of fact, I might actually share that with you. Okay, so thank you. I love using our strengths. This is still new learning. Cool. So how do you do follow-up? Text, call, or Zoom? Awesome. I call people because I'm best on the phone. So I use my strength. That's where I'm good. Angela is a great texter and messenger, so that's what she uses. All right. Do you have specific topics for your videos? I do, but they're based on the needs of my team and the group. So I figure out what they need first, where they are, and I start from there. Okay, let's do this. You guys ready to find out how to be part of the group? Let me see some yeses. I'm ready. I want to find out. I want to do this. How do I do this? How do I be a part of the group? Okay, cool. So let's, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of people. Okay, cool. Great, so I'm excited. So here's how it's gonna work. This is, now, again, this is for 5 people only. And once the 5 people are filled, it's over, it's closed. And I'll show you how to find out if the 5 are filled up. It's pretty simple. But I want you to know that I've been doing this a long time, and I have to set this stage first. That you cannot grow without some type of sacrifice. You have to be willing to give something in order to get something more. And that is what I'm sharing with you. So, want to work with me? Here's how it works. Here's how the group works. These are the details. First, what is it? It's going to be a 90-day push to grow your doTERRA business. My last training, this is my last one and group that will be doTERRA specific. And this is only going to be for 5 people who qualify that are not in my doTERRA business, right? That means that you're not in my downline. Well, at least not in my first 10 levels, okay? So you're not my doTERRA business that wants to grow your business to the next level, okay? So why am I doing this? I'm going to be expanding my own life, business, and network marketing trainings, and I'm going to open them up to include more than just doTERRA. Okay, so it's going to be doTERRA and other network marketing companies, as well as life people who want to grow their teams better, which is why I'm doing the Gallup StrengthsFinder coaching thing and all that. This is extremely important to me that I expand, and so that's why I'm just making this one the last doTERRA one, specific doTERRA one that I do. But I will be doing more. Don't worry, not going away. So what results do I expect during the 90-day push? I expect that everyone rank advances, no exceptions. Whatever, I don't care what your rank is. I don't care if you're blue diamond trying to get to presidential. I don't care if you're diamond trying to get to blue. I don't care if you're platinum trying to get to diamond. Whatever it is, everyone rank advances, okay? It's the deal. Who will benefit, or how will you benefit? Besides rank advancing, you'll also create more short-term and long-term income. This business is about longevity, okay? So your skills will grow, you'll see how good you are and really how good you can be. So what kind of people am I looking for? 5 people who are ready right now to be pushed. See, Diane's already knows, she's not ready. She said, I'll step aside, get on another 91 when I'm better prepared, good luck. She's like, that's awesome. See, that's me being absolutely clear with you what the requirement is. If I wasn't clear, Diane wouldn't know, right? So it's awesome, it's very powerful. 5 people who are ready to be pushed, people who are finally done with stories. This is not group therapy. So even though I can help work out all your biggest fears and all that stuff about reaching out to people, this is not a therapy session. This is about getting work done, okay? That's how we're going to get over it. That's how we're going to get over, the fears. People who are in this business to serve others and make money together, not one or the other. People who are committed to growing their business. So here's my game plan. We're going to push our business from October 8th to December 15th. We're going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and then we're going to pick up again January 3rd to the 17th. And there will be weekly calls, weekly 48-hour and 72-hour challenges, and group accountability. Okay? Christelle says, hey, are you going to share 90-day push info for those of you who aren't the 5 people who are working with? Christelle, it's a great question. I am going to share that. I'll show you that in just a few moments on how you can get that if you're not going to work with me. So what kind of support will I provide? There will be weekly trainings and support on team building. This is what we're going to talk about. Team building, okay? Prospecting, inviting, presenting, closing, LRP retention. We're also going to get into video marketing, Facebook ads, self-development for personal and business because they both go hand in hand. And there will also be a Marco Polo group. For those of you who have the Marco Polo app, it's awesome. It's a little video where we will share results and support weekly, right? So this group is going to get very tight. Is this okay for someone who's working full-time doing something else too? If you're working full-time, like if you have a full-time job and you're going to do this, then yes. But if you're doing a full-time job and you have another side business or whatever, no. No, it's totally cool if you have a full-time job and want to do this. That's fine, we can do this, but not if you're already working some other business. It's not going to work. So thank you for asking. So how to get in the group. Let me make sure I got that right. Let me see real quick. Did I get everything? This is the support. Okay, 24 and 48 hours, just Doterra. Okay, cool. Oh, awesome, Kitty. Okay, that's totally fine, Kitty, because we obviously not going to start for a little while. All right, so here's how to get in the group. So 3 months with me typically would cost about $3,000, okay? 12 recorded trainings. That means you would get all the recordings of all the training calls and all that stuff, the challenges and the pushes and stuff. And so that right there is about $300 value. You would get them forever. You would have them forever, which is pretty awesome. And then, why is my screen not? Okay, there we go. So total would be about $3,300. Okay, that's pretty much what it would typically cost to work with me for 3 months and get all of the recordings available to you at your leisure after we're done, right? After you're done rank advancing and you're taking a little break. That's typically what it would cost, okay? But for those of you guys that are on right now, for the first 5 people that jump in this, it's just $997. That's it, one time. And then we get to work in October. This is the link. I want you to write this down, okay? The first 5 people who jump on this. Remember, like I said, there's about 350 people who've registered. I don't know exactly how many are on right now, but I suspect that this will be filled up fast. It always does whenever I do these groups once a year. And like I said, this will be my last one. There's the link to get it right now. But before you decide yes or no, I'm going to tell you there's actually some more I'm going to throw in. So here are some bonuses. It's time to grow your team and get them moving too. I don't just want to work with you. I want to work with your team, okay? We need to get faster results, and working with your team is going to help that. So we're going to do 3 live coaching calls for your entire team. I don't care if it's 2 people or 100 people. I don't care. We're going to do 1 per month. So we're going to get on a call. I'm going to get on the call, and I'm going to get them, and I'm going to get them excited, get them pushed, get them clear about what they want, why it matters, what's going to happen if they don't do it, and get them moving in 48 hours. So I'm going to throw that bonus in there as well, okay? Next one, because it's time to let your team know what you're all about and find out who you should be spending your time working with. With your team, we'll help them pass their own blocks, get committed, and create team momentum. Because when you make this investment in yourself, you're letting them know how serious you are. You're also going to get full access to my Skill Up site, and we're going to skill up your entire team. I have a website that's specifically designed for you to plug in your leaders and for them to start learning all the basics on their own so that you can spend more time recruiting. They're going to get that. If you already purchased it, that's awesome. This is for those, if you haven't purchased it, this is just an extra bonus, okay? So thank you for bringing it up, Cheryl. And Jana, I'm glad you have that already, because we're going to now put your team through that, and we're going to put them through that Skill Up site and get them started. So we're going to create the duplication with your organization. Your leaders will get challenged. Your new builders will get skilled up, and you will lead them by example. You see how this won't fail? It can't fail. This is it. You're going to kill it. The last one is you're going to get a private 1 hour. Well, that's actually not the last one. There's one more. You're going to get a private 1 hour strategy session with me. So before we start, you and I will work one-on-one. This is why I'm only keeping it to 5, right? We're going to work one-on-one to go over your goals, create a strategy, and using nothing but your top 5 strengths. That's it. We're going all in on your top 5. So we work together. We're going to do a call before the push starts. One more. Lifetime access to this group that I just started this. Nobody's even a member yet. You would be the first 5, we'll call you founding members. It's my own personal self-development group that I'm offering. There's going to be a charge, a monthly charge for this for everybody who else wants to be in this. But if you jump in on this group, you will get no monthly charges. This will be you lifetime access. And you're going to be part of this for life, okay? Because I'm in this for life. So that means you'll be rolling with me. Self-development on everything, mindset, getting healthier, physically stronger, smart and intelligent, growing our intelligence, growing our business, and growing our marriages, growing our relationship with our kids and our family, and so on. Everything is included. So it's super secret for now, and you'll get access to this for life, those 5 people. Everybody outside of that, there's a fee and a cost for it, which I'm not even going to go into right now. I just want you to know this is awesome. So this is coming up. Cool? So remember how to get in the group. 3 months with me, $3,000 again. $300, and with the 3 live coaching team calls, we'll throw in another $1,000 for that. This is $4,300 worth of training and coaching is all from me because I can do this all day. I just love what I do so much, and people get results. You just get it for $9.97 one time. There is the link right there to join the group. Now, I know that there's some people in here who have fabulous uplines. You're like, Eddie, I want to learn, but I already have a great upline. I don't feel like I need to work with you. I totally get it. If you're not that person, I got something for you too. How about you just get all the recordings, those 12 recordings that I was talking about, so that you got these 12 recordings will basically allow you the opportunity to go through the push with this group. So you'll get the recordings as I put them out, as I launch them, you'll get them and you'll be able to do your own push. So these are going to be released weekly starting October 22nd when you'll get the first one. And then you will get them every single week throughout all the way through the end of January. And you'll also get, as an extra bonus, the 4 step-by-step 90-day push trainings right now as a bonus. So I'll give you 4 recordings and all the more details about what I go in even more detail than what I've shared so far. And that's just $97 one time. You use this recording, use this link. Now, what's happening right now is in a few moments here, I'm going to work with one of you guys individually. But before I do, I just want to give you this link. And okay, my phone just went off. Okay, it looks like I've got 2 people have already jumped in the group. So I have 2 people in the group already. So for those of you guys who jumped in the group, I am super pumped. Thank you so much for jumping in. I can't wait to meet with you. So everybody else, make sure you jump in as fast as you can, because I can already see that's 2. Let's say I have this little thing on my phone that gives me notifications when people jump in. All right. Let's move. So $97, buy that right now. You can get all the 12 recordings, and I'm going to throw in one extra bonus if you do this right now. I have a very secret. Some of you guys are have fears and limiting beliefs about stuff. I've got I think it's like a 35-minute training on how to overcome limiting beliefs like fears of being on camera or fears of talking to people. You're going to love this training. If you buy this, if you get this, the people in my group are going to get this anyway, but if you get this instead, you'll get that limiting beliefs training right now as well. Okay, so again, that's just $97 one time. Use this link to get that, and I want to work with one of you guys one-on-one right now, but I just want to say real quick, it's time to say goodbye to feeling frustrated because you aren't moving. You're going to get so much content and so much quality support from this. So I want you to say goodbye to being frustrated that your team isn't moving with you. Right? Forget that. Time to let go of that. Time to say goodbye to the stories that you were telling that are holding you back. Time to say goodbye to the excuse of not knowing what to do. And you use this link right here to jump in this group right now, or we are now down to only 3 spots available. So I can't wait to work with you guys. It's going to be awesome. So real quick reminder, these are the 2 links, and while I'm putting these links up here for you, I would love to know who wants to work with me right now. Who wants to jump in right now? And what I will do is I'm going to pick one at random, and I'm going to find your top 5 strengths. And I want you to see this. I have this Post-it note here with all the strengths that I've worked with people on, and I have recordings on all these. And I'd like to do is work with somebody who has a strength I haven't worked with yet. So let's do this. Who's, okay, let's keep going. You didn't do any of mine yet. Susie. Okay, Susie just called me out. She's like, you didn't do any of mine. Okay, Susie, you know what? Instead of me scrolling back, Susie, give me your top 2. You're so cool. I love it. Susie, give me your top 2 strengths. Susie Martin, who's on here, achiever and competition. I did do achiever. And I didn't do achiever. Is achiever in here? Okay. I did do competition, but I didn't do achiever. I haven't done the strengths finder yet. Okay, let's do this. Susie, achiever is probably an easy one, right? I want something hard. Who's got a strength that's just like, what? What do I do with this? Maximizer is an easier one too. Angela's a maximizer. Individualization. Ooh, that's a good one. Did I do that one yet? I haven't done individualization yet. Okay, let's do that one. Susie, hang on. I think I might do 2. Let's see how this goes. Trish Percy says individualization is one that she's not sure about. Let's do that one real quick. Trish, can you unmute yourself? Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can. Yeah, we have 73 people in here. This is awesome. And I'm going to work with you, Trish. Go ahead and let's see if I can invite you on. I've never done it this way before, but let's try participants. And Trish Percy, I'm going to bring you on. See if I can find you. There we go. All right, more. Allow to talk. Okay, cool. Trish, go ahead and let's make sure your audio is working.
I'm here.
All right. Hi, Trish.
Hey.
Okay. What do you think so far? Was this cool stuff? Did you like what you learned?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh. Okay, so your strength is individualization. Is this number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for you?
That's number 1.
Number 1. Awesome. Okay. So what I've got here is, let me see here. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay. How about now?
Yep.
Still? Okay, cool. So this is what I do, guys. So we go to the number 1 strength, and I pull up mine so you can see my top 5 are here. I'm going to show you where individualization lies for me. There it is. It's right here. Okay, can you read that right there, Trish?
People who are especially talented in the individualization theme are intrigued with the unique qualities of each person. They have a gift for figuring out how people who are different can work together productively.
Okay, awesome. So what does that mean to you?
That says I'm good at putting together a team that works together well.
Okay, so I'm good at putting together a team that works together well. Okay, so since this is your number 1 strength, this is your Michael Jordan, all right? Give me an example of some things that you would do. Or let me actually rewind. How can using this strength only, right? Nothing else, just this strength. How can using this strength only help you do a 90-day push and grow your business?
To me, this is one-on-ones. It's working with each person individually to find out exactly what they need, because that is really important to me, to make sure that everyone finds out exactly what they need.
You know what's awesome about this is that a lot of people probably look at thinking, oh my gosh, one-on-one, that sounds a lot. That sounds like overwhelming. And for me, that would be overwhelming because as you can see, it's 18 for me. But because it's number 1 for you, you can figure out who people are very quickly with very little questions. You just kind of know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what would take me maybe 30 or 40 minutes to figure out a person would take you maybe 3 or 4 minutes, right?
Right, because I'm just following threads.
Yeah, that's your strength. Okay, so that's a pretty awesome strength, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, because your job is to put together your team. What's your goal right now, by the way?
Gold.
Gold? Okay, and so are you solid silver or sometimes silver?
I am not a silver, I am a premier.
Okay, so the next step is silver and then gold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna just focus on silver for now. All right. I get that gold is where you want to be, but this next step is silver. So if I were to be in the same room as you, right? And you were using your individualization strength, what would I actually see you doing? Like, what would I see you doing? How would you be working that strength?
You would see me talking to one person at a time, basically, not necessarily in a group. And flying home from conference last night, I had a 2.5 hour conversation with the guy sitting next to me. I mean, it was pretty interesting.
Did you enroll him?
Did I what? You know what? We're working on that.
Okay, of course. So, okay, go on. Sorry. What else so I would see you talking to people one-on-one. All right. So would that be like face-to-face, or would it be on Zoom, or both?
Probably, I do both actually, but more face-to-face because it's easier to feel what's going on if it's face-to-face.
Okay. So how, when you're sitting with somebody and you're doing a one-on-one, right, and you're presenting them the oils and you're going to get them enrolled, typically how long does that process take for you?
45 minutes to an hour.
Once you're sitting down and starting, right?
Right.
Okay, that's awesome. So what's really cool about that is let me ask you this, how long does it take you to find somebody when you're focused? How long does it take you to find somebody to sit down with you?
I'm the one talking to everybody in the checkout line.
Okay. So not long, right? That checkout line, you got maybe seconds sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So then I'll ask you the coolest question ever is what's 2 money-making activities is you using this strength all in?
Contacting and setting up one-on-ones. I mean, those would be the 2 that I really, really need to focus on.
Yeah. Now, would it be only one-on-ones with people who have not tried the oils yet?
No, not at all, because one of the things that we've been focusing on is looking at our downlines and saying, okay, who hasn't ordered in a while? They probably don't know what they're doing. So let's sit down and do a wellness consult and look at what oils they have and what they've used, and you know what I mean, kind of doing a little recap for them to make sure that they know how to use what they have and to get to know them a little better.
Awesome. And what about people who have been buying oils for a while? Is this a good idea to use your individualization strength to talk to them about potentially doing the business with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's the same process, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And sometimes I miss that portion of it. I will tell you, I'm always looking for builders and I'm not finding them because I'm not asking.
Aha. Okay, cool. Now that's vulnerable right there. And I can guarantee you right now that the 70 plus people that are in here listening go, oh my gosh, I know how that feels. And if you're leading a group of people doing a push with you, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I have felt the same way. So all we got to do is activate your number 1 strength. Get in front of people and ask them those questions that you do, find out what they want, and so on, right? If all you did was use this strength and you doing those tasks, would you hit silver?
Yeah, I would.
That's all you did?
I would.
Like, forget about looking at your back office because that's not your thing, right? Forget about putting together graphs and things because maybe that's not your thing. But
that's the procrastination stuff.
Sure. Because in order for you to activate this strength of individualization, you have to skill up, right? You have to develop your presenting the business skills and so on. And when you don't present the business with skill, your weakness with individualization comes in. And what's awesome about this right here, it shows you right here if individualization is a lesser theme for you. In other words, when you're not skilling up, it might mean that you rely on structured approach that ensures fair treatment. So what that means is that you're relying too much on structure instead of the individual themselves. When you're not developing skill, your weakness of individualization hurts you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so right? Eddie, I'm retired from the Army.
Uh-huh.
So that resonates with me right there.
Okay, brilliant. Awesome. Speaking your language. Cool. So this is the last question, and then you got your 48-hour challenge. So let's just do one. What is one thing you can do in the next 48 hours that will activate your individualization strength and grow your business? probably already thought of somebody. It's my guess. Somebody that you're nervous about.
Oh, yes. I just I need one-on-ones on my calendar. I need to set them up.
So it's like bowling.
Yeah.
You can't knock down pins if you're not setting them up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said set them up. So what if I saw you doing that? How would you do that? How would you set them up? What would I see you doing?
I've been working my pipeline for a while, but I haven't, there's quite a number of people in there that I haven't actually pulled in yet. So what I need to do is go back to my contact list and I need to pull them in, especially this month with the specials that are going on.
Okay, here it is right here. So another reason why I love the PDF that comes with this. Look at this right here. Read this out loud.
Ask these same questions of your colleagues and friends. Help them plan their future by starting with their strengths and designing a future based on what they do best. That's
what you need to do. Totally. You know, Trish, you have a skill of being able to identify talents and skills of people. Would it benefit your team who doesn't have this strength in their top 5 to hear a short, maybe 20 or 15 or 15 or 20 minute or even 25-minute training on how you do this?
Yeah, it might.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Then you record that training, you bank it, you save it somewhere. And then when you have people that have individualization low on their strengths, because you're going to make everybody get all 34, you go, hey, I've got a cool little training that's going to help you since individualization is so low for you. Launch this training.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Heck yeah, it's efficient, isn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, this is the greatest suggestion I give everybody. I learned this from Ray Higdon. Record all your meetings, record all your trainings, because you're going to have people with similar issues. So to save time, say, you know what, watch this and then get back to me. Let me know what you learned.
Okay.
Is that cool?
I like that idea.
Awesome. Sweet. Great job, Trish. So now you have 48 hours, because if you don't do this thing, right, this one thing in the next 48 hours, then you're going to be doomed to do the thing that you do when you avoid.
Yes.
So some people it's chocolate, some people it's, for me, it's this. I scroll on Facebook. That's how I know I'm avoiding something.
Yes, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? So when you catch yourself doing this, let you know, oh, wait a minute, I'm avoiding. What am I avoiding here? And go do that. You have 48 hours. Is that cool?
Okay.
Okay, this is not my rule, by the way. This is God's rule. You know, I would rather this not be a rule, but it's just a thing. So you got to do the work. Is that cool?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Trish. I appreciate you jumping on. Okay, so I want everybody to share in the chat, and I'm going to jump off here in just a few moments. I hope you guys got a lot out of that. And I hope, my prayer is that not only that, but Trish, thank you, by the way, so much for being so transparent and vulnerable, because that process helped a lot of people who are watching this. My hope is that people look at that and go, oh my gosh, that was so simple. I just asked the questions and then we have a conversation. That is it. I ask the questions and we have a conversation. We magnify that strength. Help them love themselves at a higher level. Okay, can we do one more? Do you guys want to do one more, or if we've gone too long? Because I can wrap up now. Let me give you that link, those links again. Right? We can do one more if you want. I'm going to just say if we can wrap up right now. And here's the links. If you guys want to jump in the group, jump in now. I haven't looked at my phone. I stopped looking at my phone, so I'm not sure how many people we have yet. But I'll tell you this in a moment. I'm going to jump off this call. And if I have 5 people, I'm going to shut down that link. So that's how you'll know if you're watching this recording, if the link is working, if you can buy a space, then that means there's a space available, okay? So if there's a space available, just take it. Don't ask questions. Don't message me and say, hey, Eddie, is there 5 still or what? Just jump in. So these are the links. You can get the recordings or you can work with me. Thanks, Eddie. Okay, it looks like Jan really wants more. Okay, let's bring on Susie. Susie, are you still here? Because I kind of dangled a carrot in front of Susie, and Susie's a competitor, and if you do that in front of a competitor, you just make them mad, and I don't want to make Susie mad. So, all right, we're going to do Susie. Let's do that. Let me go back to Here we go. Susie, there you are. And allow to talk. There we go. Susie. Hey, is your camera working?
Should be. Oh,
Maybe, hold on, maybe not. It's totally cool if it's not.
okay.
Invite to, let's see, just in case, maybe it'll work. Maybe if not, if I do this. No, it's totally cool. Forget it. We'll just listen to your voice. Okay. What was the strength that we wanted to work on again?
Well, I didn't see you do the achiever and competition.
Let's do achiever. Because I've done competition, which is intense. But come on, we all know that's an easy strength, right? Let's go with achiever. Okay, because achiever can be deceiving. A lot of people think, oh, achiever, but it's not. Some of these strengths are not what we thought they were. So go ahead and let's start with you. Go ahead and read this one out loud. By the way, is achiever number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
Awesome. Perfect. Let's do this. Go ahead and read it out loud.
Okay. People who are especially talented in the achiever theme have a great deal of stamina and work hard. They take great satisfaction from being busy and productive.
All right. What does that mean to you?
It totally describes me.
Wow. What does that mean to you? Like if you were telling me about you, how would you go deeper on this comment?
What does that mean? I think that last sentence is really descriptive. Like, just if I'm not busy or productive, I'm not satisfied, and I'm always looking for what will keep me busy and productive.
You can go all day, just like me, right? Just never stop. If you're doing something you love, especially, right?
Oh yeah, and then when and then first thing in the morning, I'm doing it again. And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're actually doing it again." I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I love it.
And so I think that when you're not skilled, the weakness that presents itself with this strength is obvious, right? We already know that. So we're not going to go there. It's simple. Like if you're not skilling up, if you're not skilled, then you're working on things going nowhere. That's obvious, right? So we don't even need to have that conversation. We could just avoid that altogether because it's just too easy. So what I'm going to say instead is, how can using this strength only, okay, forget about your competition, which is a good one, the other ones too, right? But how can using this strength only help you hit your next goal? By the way, what's your next goal real quick so everybody knows?
Blue diamond.
Okay, brilliant. Everybody hear that, everybody? That's the next goal, your diamond.
Yeah.
And now blue diamond is next. Okay, let's hear it. So how does using this strength only help you hit blue?
How does using this one only? Well, being busy and productive, working really hard. Doing the pipes, doing that consistently. That's what's going to get me there. I think the thing that I feel a little bit just as a challenge is I feel like it's new skills and kind of up leveling that's going to get me there. And that's the thing that I kind of need pushing in because I don't really know what those things are.
Well, yeah, you know how the saying goes, right? New rank, new whatever, new beast, right? New thing you have to grow to, new person you have to become. And that's going to happen because you already do a lot of work. But you mentioned something that was really critical, and I want to point this out to everybody. And I mentioned it earlier when it comes to the description of what commitment is. The first thing about commitment is doing what's required. And you said pipes. So for you, doing pipes is the required activity. Right? So doing those on a regular basis and figuring out how to do those, but at an even higher level. Right? So what does that mean to you when I say doing pipes, or maybe doing other things that you already know are required, but at another level?
Well, I know exactly what it means, and it's scary.
What is it? What does it mean?
For me, it's approaching people for the business who are better than me. What do they call that? Enrolling up or recruiting up.
Yeah, recruiting people that are like Angela, for example, or the really big, strong leaders, the people that are already massive go-getters in their businesses and lives.
Exactly.
So ask them and say, well, I get that you have a business that's generating $100,000 a year, but I want you to look at doTERRA where you can do $100,000 a month. with
Right.
that kind of skill, right?
Mhm. Right, exactly.
That's what you're talking about. Yes?
Yeah, that's the next level.
Okay. All right. So can I let you know a little cool secret?
Yeah.
Remember when I shared earlier about the 4 things that people follow?
Mm-hmm.
What that means is that you want somebody who exemplifies those 4 things: trust, compassion, stability, hope, right? That means that there are people following them.
Right.
So you get to work really hard enrolling people that are not, like, they don't believe they're that level. Why? Because they're following them. Let me give you a better example. Let's say you're out there, you're trying to find the next Haley Hobson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Haley Hobson has a social media following. That means that she has people following her. How you find Haley Hobsons is you find the people that are following her.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say you enroll 10 people who follow people like Haley Hobson, maybe even know how to get connected with a Haley Hobson. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, they might already be friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you enroll them, and then you say, who do you know who's a high performer? You would have been wanting to get in this business, but maybe you're scared because maybe they're a little higher level up than you, or whatever you fear, or whatever you think.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, I do know this person. Her name is Haley Hobson, and she's just amazing. And I actually talk to her once in a while. I've always wanted to introduce, but I don't know how, and I'm terrified. That's when you go, lead me to her. Just get me in front of her. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So-
But I feel like I need a different presentation, that I just need to skill up in that area, and I just don't have the tools for that.
Okay. All right. So the cool thing is that you work hard, and I already know this about you, so it's kind of a cheat. But I already know that you're the kind of person that likes to go out and ask people that are higher level up in doTERRA, right? They're Blue Diamonds or Presidentials or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just ask them what they do, don't you?
Right.
Okay.
I do.
So is that going to allow you the ability to use Achiever? Like, is that you using Achiever strength?
Asking for advice?
Yeah. Check this out. So when we look at what an Achiever theme is dominant for you, look at this. So partner, here it is. Boom. Do you read these? Take advantage of your self-motivation by setting challenging goals. Set more ambitious goals every day until you finish a project. Okay, that's obvious. Partner with someone with strong discipline or focus talents. This person can help you use your energy as efficiently as possible.
Okay.
As much as possible, I'm trying to find. Okay, as much as possible, limit your commitments to tasks that are aligned with your highest priorities.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
these are things that you do. Does that make sense? You
Yeah.
feel like- it sounds like you're like not totally convinced yet.
I just want access to these words. Where can I get that?
Okay. Access to you said words?
Yeah,
how
just
to talk to
all
people?
these bullet points here.
Oh, this is on the Gallup Strengths Finder. When you take the test,
Oh, okay. I took it, so I can log in or something.
yeah, when you go in there, you'll see see where it says PDF right here? You click on that and then boom, it comes up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to study that more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also right here, this is interesting. So when you're not skilling up in the Achiever, I like to look in here to find out where my holes are, like where I can hurt myself, right? So what happens is, let's see, when you're not skilling up, you're not hitting goals, because that's right here. Here, use this technology to push you forward and complete your goals. So when you're not skilling up, you're working hard and going nowhere.
Right. Just busy for busy's sake.
Yeah. So it's about then, and ultimately it's all about finding what's going to work and go and deciding it's going to work. Okay. What are your other strengths, by the way? I'm sensing some deliberative in there.
No, I have significance, maximizer, and futuristic.
Okay.
I don't really know what significance is too well.
Okay, we're gonna just read that one real quick. Go
Okay.
ahead.
People who are especially talented in the significance theme want to be very important in the eyes of others. They're independent and want to be recognized. And that's actually not true. I didn't want to walk. I don't want to be recognized. I just want to do my thing.
Well, it doesn't mean walking. It didn't say anything about walking and being a celebrity and being front and center.
Okay.
but you do want to be important.
Sure. I guess. Yeah.
No?
It's not, I don't feel like it's a driving thing, like a number 3 thing for me.
Well, we talked about that, right? It's not your top player.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a
Okay.
number 3.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
always get played.
Okay.
But how about this right here?
Yeah. Very.
That's true?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think you're independent?
Because I have my own ideas and my own ways, and I'll
not
just do
right
it. What?
there. I have my own ideas.
Yeah.
I have my own ideas. I can't even try and convince you of any of these things. It has to be your idea. So that's what significance is for you. It's not about being a celebrity or being in front of everybody. It's about using your own ideas because you see the value in them. They're important to you. So they should be important to other people.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So significant people do important things. Look at there. I don't have this memorized. I just know how this works. Look at this. If you perform your best when you're given independence, share that insight with your manager or your teams, right? Your leaders. I think that's what they really mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not like being told what to do.
Yeah, totally. Share your dreams and goals with your colleagues. I've told you that before. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this. Stay focused on performance. That means that you have to measure where you are. That means you have to say, well, here's my volume today, and I want my volume to be this next month.
Right. Okay.
Right? So that's your significance. So it's not always about being front and center and wonderful. That's Angela. That's how Angela rolls with her significance. She loves to be front and center. She loves to be the center of attention. She likes to be the hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are driving forces. Okay, give me one thing that you're going to do in the next 48 hours, and then we'll wrap up.
I'm going to get some advice. I'm going to just brainstorm some of my ideas and get really focused on my activities and not just be busy.
Okay, so
I'm going to read up on all these on the website.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, you said brainstorm on ideas. See, the cool thing is that when you brainstorm, you've got to put those ideas in action immediately. You don't have time, right?
Right. And I will. If I get inspired, I'll do it.
Yeah, because you're going to be busy anyway, so you might as well be doing something somebody else suggests and then making it your own.
Right. Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So write that down, get it done. You got 48 hours. You don't have time to waste. If you skip this, then you're going to be wandering off in the wilderness again. I'm going to find you in the forest going, where should I go? I'm ready to work so hard, but I'm going in circles, and I recognize my footsteps because I'm going in a circle. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Cool.
I'm on it.
No being lost. I love it.
Okay,
all right.
thank you so much.
You're awesome. All right, guys. There we go. I thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm sorry I went way longer than I expected, but I hope you guys got a ton out of that. And I'm just going to wrap up now with the links to those 2 different things that I'm leaving available for you. Like I said, if that link to the 5-person group is still open, that means there's a spot left. I'm going to check my phone here in a few moments when I'm done, and if the 5 are filled, I'm going to shut that website down, and I'm going to have it redirect to that bottom one. So, guys, I appreciate you sharing. What I would love for you guys to do is go on to my personal page. Not my personal page. I'm sorry, my business page. Carolyn Ingram, raise your hand. Carolyn, do you have a question? You can shoot it in the chat. I want you guys to go. I would love for you guys to go to my, let's see, here's my business page right here. Sorry, got people messaging me. There we go. So I'd love for you guys to go to my business page right here and go in here, leave me a review. You know what I mean? Like, I believe there's a review section right here. If you click on this, you can leave me a review, or you can message me. And if you have questions about the group or any of the things I offer tonight, send me a message. And don't forget to message me with that link, with that word, so that you can get that list of those questions. So I appreciate you guys can leave me a review. Let me know what you think about the training or anything I might have shared if it's helped you. I love the feedback, because your feedback is what fuels me to keep going. Remember, strategic activator. I need people to move. That's my number 2 is activator. I need people to see what I do and then go do it. It's not good enough to hear me talk about this at great lengths and go wow, wow, wow all day. All right. So Maria says, I messaged you. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Kristen, thank you, Kristen, for joining. I appreciate it. Christelle, Susie, thank you so much for jumping on. You guys are awesome. Grace, thank you so much for jumping in. I'm just seeing some names here. Jan Spolina, thank you so much for jumping in. All you guys that watch this. I'm going to post the recording to this on my business page tomorrow morning. And we'll see if those 5 spots are already filled. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm just going to pull that link one more time just in case. I hope you guys have a blessed evening. And you have 48 hours. 48 hours. Get to work. Do one thing. Go, go, go. I love you. I hope you guys got a ton out of it tonight. Bye-bye. Whoops.